Preparing for the Quebec Heavy Vehicle Knowledge Test? This video is part of a complete Quebec Heavy Vehicle Knowledge Practice Test series. In this video, you'll answer 50 multiple-choice questions, each followed by a clear and detailed explanation. This series includes 300 total questions, designed to fully prepare you for the saaQ Heavy Vehicle Knowledge exam. All questions are based on the official saaQ Heavy Vehicle Handbook and cover inspections, air brakes, safety rules, and Quebec-specific regulations. Pause the video if you need more time. Choose the best answer and review the explanation carefully. These questions are designed to match the real exam format. For more practice tests and study materials, visit CanadianDriverKnowledgeTest.ca. Let's begin. Question 1. In Quebec, what is the blood alcohol limit for a heavy vehicle driver who is not subject to zero tolerance? A. 0.02. B. 0.05. C. 0.08. D. 0.10. The correct answer is B. 0.05. Explanation: a blood alcohol concentration of 0.05 or more prohibits a driver from operating a heavy vehicle, unless zero tolerance applies, a tow truck, or a vehicle requiring hazardous materials placards. Question 2. Which communication device is legally exempt from the handheld electronic device restriction while driving? A. A smartphone with a transmitter-receiver app. B. A portable satellite radio used for navigation. C. A CB, shortwave two-way radio, where only the microphone is held. D. An electronic tablet used for an electronic logbook. The correct answer is C. A CB, shortwave two-way radio, where only the microphone is held. Explanation: Quebec law allows the use of devices installed so that only the microphone or receiver is held, specifically covering shortwave two-way radios like CBs or walkie-talkies. Question 3. When is a driver permitted to program a GPS or enter data into an electronic logbook? A. While stopped at a red light in a traffic jam. B. While driving at a steady speed on a highway. C. Only before leaving or when the vehicle is parked in a safe location. D. Whenever the vehicle is not in motion, including its stop signs. The correct answer is C. Only before leaving or when the vehicle is parked in a safe location. Explanation: to prevent distraction, programming or data entry must be done before the trip begins or while the vehicle is safely and legally parked. Question 4. Within what time frame must a mandatory circle check be performed before a vehicle is taken on the road? A. Within the 12 hours prior to driving. B. Within the 24 hours prior to driving. C. Within the 48 hours prior to driving. D. At the beginning of every work week. The correct answer is B. Within the 24 hours prior to driving. Explanation: regulations require that a circle check be carried out within the 24 hours before a vehicle is operated on the road. Question 5. What action must a driver take if a major defect is detected during an inspection? A. Note it in the log and continue the trip if it seems safe. B. Drive to the nearest repair facility immediately. C. Prohibit the vehicle from being driven and report the defect to the operator. D. Complete the current delivery and then report it. The correct answer is C. Prohibit the vehicle from being driven and report the defect to the operator. Explanation: a major defect represents an immediate risk. The vehicle cannot be driven, and the driver must notify the operator and owner immediately. Question 6. Within how many days must a driver submit the original circle check report to the vehicle operator? A. 24 hours. B. 7 days. C. 20 days. D. 30 days. The correct answer is C. 20 days. Explanation: the driver is legally obligated to submit the original circle check report to the operator within 20 days of its writing. Question 7. Why are weight limits significantly stricter during the spring thaw period de diesel? A. To reduce carbon emissions from heavy engines. B. Because road resistance decreases by approximately 40% due to moisture. C. To encourage the use of rail transport for heavy goods. D. Because tire rubber becomes more abrasive in warmer temperatures. The correct answer is B. Because road resistance decreases by approximately 40% due to moisture. Explanation: during spring thaw, roadbeds become fragile. A single overloaded truck can cause damage equivalent to many trucks during normal weather conditions. Question 8. What does a verification sign indicate for a driver of a vehicle weighing 3,000 kilograms or more? A. A mandatory logbook check by peace officers. B. A mandatory area to check and verify the vehicle's brakes. C. A mandatory weigh scale station. D. A border crossing or customs station. The correct answer is B. A mandatory area to check and verify the vehicle's brakes. Explanation: drivers of heavy vehicles with a total loaded mass of 3,000 kilograms or more must pull over and personally verify their brakes at these designated areas. Question 9. What is the required visual signal for a load that overhangs the rear of a vehicle by more than 1 meter? A. A white flag during the day and a yellow light at night. B. A red flag or reflecting panel during the day. C. Hazard lights must be kept on at all times. D. No signal is required unless it exceeds 2 meters. The correct answer is B. A red flag or reflecting panel during the day. Explanation: any load or equipment overhanging the rear by more than 1 meter must be marked with a red flag or reflecting panel for visibility. Question 10. What is the primary goal of proper load distribution across the vehicle's axles? A. To increase the vehicle's maximum speed. B. To keep the center of gravity as high as possible. C. To distribute weight evenly over each axle and keep the center of gravity low. D. To ensure the truck remains shorter than its legal length. The correct answer is C. To distribute weight evenly over each axle and keep the center of gravity low. Explanation: even distribution ensures compliance with load limits and improves stability by keeping the center of gravity low. Question 11. Under what weather conditions is a longer combination vehicle, LCV, prohibited from operating? A. Anytime the temperature drops below freezing. B. When visibility is less than 500 m or the roadway has snow or ice. C. Only during thunderstorms or heavy rain. D. Only during nighttime hours in winter. The correct answer is B. When visibility is less than 500 m or the roadway has snow or ice. Explanation: for safety, LCV drivers must only operate when visibility is at least 500 m and the road surface is clear of snow and ice. Question 12. What training is required for a driver to transport dangerous substances in Quebec? A. A standard Class 5 passenger vehicle license. B. Specific training for dangerous substances and a valid certificate. C. A minimum of 10 years of heavy vehicle experience. D. No training is required if the load is under 1,000 kilograms. Correct answer: B. Specific training for dangerous substances and a valid certificate. Explanation: drivers must receive specific training and hold an employer's certificate proving they have completed it before transporting dangerous substances. Question 13. What does the move-over law, corridor de sécurité, require you to do when passing a stopped emergency vehicle with active lights? A. Speed up to clear the area as fast as possible. B. Maintain your speed but honk to alert the workers. C. Slow down and move to another lane to create a buffer zone. D. Stop completely in your lane until the emergency vehicle leaves. The correct answer is C. Slow down and move to another lane to create a buffer zone. Explanation: drivers must slow down and change lanes, if safe, to create a protective buffer for emergency and service vehicles stopped on the roadside. Question 14. According to the saaQ, what is recognized as the main cause of driver inattention leading to accidents? A. Improperly adjusted mirrors. B. Engine mechanical failure. C. Fatigue. D. Loud radio volume. The correct answer is C. Fatigue. Explanation: fatigue is the leading cause of driver inattention, which accounts for the majority of truck accidents involving bodily injury. Question 15. What does a lintainment, slow, sign held by a flag person mean? A. You must stop and wait for further instructions. B. You must slow down and proceed with caution. C. You should maintain your speed but stay in the center of the lane. D. You must turn around as the road is closed. The correct answer is B. You must slow down and proceed with caution. Explanation: a lintainment sign directs the driver to reduce speed and maintain a safe distance from workers and equipment at the site. Question 16. When driving a double road train, how should the semi-trailers be positioned based on their weight? A. The lightest trailer must be hitched directly to the tractor. B. The weight of the trailers does not matter as long as the total is legal. C. The longest and heaviest semi-trailer must be hitched to the tractor. D. The heavier trailer must always be in the rear to prevent fishtailing. The correct answer is C. The longest and heaviest semi-trailer must be hitched to the tractor. Explanation: to ensure maximum stability and avoid traction or steering problems, the heaviest and longest trailer in a double road train must be the one hitched directly to the tractor. Question 17. What is a significant risk when using retarders, supplemental brakes, on slippery road surfaces? A. They may cause the engine to overheat. B. They can cause the drive wheels to lock up and lead to jackknifing. C. They increase the vehicle's fuel consumption significantly. D. They only work when the vehicle is traveling uphill. The correct answer is B. They can cause the drive wheels to lock up and lead to jackknifing. Explanation: retarders act only on the drive wheels. On slippery roads, they can cause these wheels to lock, which may lead to a loss of control or a jackknife. Question 18. How does the reaction time of air brakes compare to that of hydraulic brakes? A. Air brakes react faster because air is lighter than fluid. B. Hydraulic brakes react faster because air takes more time to travel through the lines. C. Both systems react at the exact same speed. D. Air brakes only have a delay when the vehicle is empty. The correct answer is B. Hydraulic brakes react faster because air takes more time to travel through the lines. Explanation: air brakes have a slight delay, reaction time, because it takes a moment for the compressed air to travel through the system to the brake chambers. Question 19. When negotiating a curve, at what point should you apply the brakes if slowing down is necessary? A. While you are in the middle of the curve. B. Just as you are exiting the curve. C. Before entering the curve, while the vehicle is still traveling in a straight line. D. Only if the vehicle begins to tilt. The correct answer is C. Before entering the curve, while the vehicle is still traveling in a straight line. Explanation: braking should be completed before entering the curve to maintain maximum stability. Braking while turning can cause a skid or overturn. Question 20. Why should you not automatically trust the clearance heights posted on bridges or overpasses? A. The signs are often intentionally set 1 meter lower than actual height. B. Factors like repaved roads, ice, or packed snow can reduce the actual clearance. C. Most signs are measured in imperial units only. D. Clearance heights only apply to passenger vehicles. The correct answer is B. Factors like repaved roads, ice, or packed snow can reduce the actual clearance. Explanation: environmental changes or road maintenance can reduce the space between the road and the structure, making the posted height inaccurate. Question 21. What is highway hypnosis, and how should a driver respond to it? A. A state of extreme focus caused by heavy traffic. B. A monotonous state caused by long hours of driving. The driver should pull over and rest. C. A mechanical failure in the steering system. D. A law requiring drivers to use cruise control. Correct answer: B. A monotonous state caused by long hours of driving. The driver should pull over and rest. Explanation: long hours on familiar routes can lead to a hypnotic state. Drivers should take a break every 2 hours or whenever they feel the need to stop. Question 22. Under the Move Over law in Quebec, which vehicles are protected when stopped with active lights? A. Only police cars and ambulances. B. Only tow trucks and fire department vehicles. C. Police, ambulances, fire trucks, control route your Quebec, and tow trucks. D. Any vehicle parked on the shoulder, including private cars. The correct answer is C. Police, ambulances, fire trucks, control route your Quebec, and tow trucks. Explanation: the law requires drivers to create a buffer zone for emergency vehicles and tow trucks that are stopped with their lights or yellow arrow signals activated. Question 23. What does an orange speed limit sign signify at a roadwork site? A. It is a recommended speed, but the white sign still takes priority. B. It is a mandatory speed limit that must be observed just like a white sign. C. It only applies if workers are currently on the road. D. It only applies to vehicles carrying dangerous substances. The correct answer is B. It is a mandatory speed limit that must be observed just like a white sign. Explanation: drivers must obey the speed limit on orange signs at construction sites, as they are legally binding. Question 24. When must a heavy vehicle driver stop at an inspection station? A. Only if they are over their hours of service. B. Only if their vehicle appears to have a defect. C. When the station's lights are flashing, if the GVWR is 4,500 kilograms or more. D. Only when driving between sunset and sunrise. The correct answer is C. When the station's lights are flashing, if the GVWR is 4,500 kilograms or more. Explanation: most heavy vehicles with a GVWR of 4,500 kilograms or more are required to stop for inspection when signaled by flashing lights. Question 25. How is a minor defect defined in terms of its impact on vehicle operation? A. It prohibits the vehicle from being driven immediately. B. It must be repaired within 48 hours but does not prevent operation. C. It only needs to be reported at the end of the work week. D. It does not need to be recorded in the circle check report. The correct answer is B. It must be repaired within 48 hours but does not prevent operation. Explanation: minor defects are non-critical issues that allow the driver to continue their trip but require repair within a strict 48-hour window. Question 26. What is the penalty for using a heavy vehicle 30 days after receiving a notice to repair an environmental noncompliance? A. The vehicle is permanently impounded. B. The fine amount is doubled. C. The driver's license is suspended for 1 year. D. There is no additional penalty if the repair is in progress. The correct answer is B. The fine amount is doubled. Explanation: if a vehicle is not repaired and attested within 30 days of an environmental notice, the owner faces a fine twice the initial amount. Question 27. What should a driver do when approaching a level crossing in a heavy vehicle? A. Speed up to cross as quickly as possible. B. Avoid changing gears while traveling through the crossing. C. Always stop, regardless of the type of cargo or vehicle. D. Use the high beam headlights to alert the train. The correct answer is B. Avoid changing gears while traveling through the crossing. Explanation: changing gears on tracks increases the risk of stalling or making an error, which could be disastrous given the time a heavy vehicle takes to cross. Question 28. What is the primary cause of accidents resulting in bodily injury involving a truck? A. Mechanical failure of the engine. B. Failure of the driver to pay attention. C. Poor weather conditions. D. Inadequate road signage. The correct answer is B. Failure of the driver to pay attention. Explanation: driver inattention is the leading cause of such accidents, with fatigue being recognized as the primary underlying factor for that inattention. Question 29. What is required for a driver to legally transport dangerous substances in an amount requiring placards? A. A minimum of 5 years of Class 1 driving experience. B. A specific certificate attesting the driver has received the necessary training. C. Only a verbal authorization from the carrier. D. A special police escort for every trip. The correct answer is B. A specific certificate attesting the driver has received the necessary training. Explanation: drivers must carry proof of specialized training to handle and transport dangerous substances safely. Question 30. At what distance from a level crossing must a bus driver stop the vehicle? A. At least 1 meter. B. At least 5 meters. C. At least 15 meters. D. There is no specific distance as long as it is safe. The correct answer is B. At least 5 meters. Explanation. Specific safety rules for bus drivers in Quebec require stopping at a mandatory distance, minimum 5 m, before crossing train tracks. Question 31. What is the main purpose of the supply, emergency, line in a tractor-trailer air system? A. To provide air for the cabin's air conditioning system. B. To supply air to the trailer tanks and control the trailer's emergency brakes. C. To transmit the signal for the service brakes only. D. To cool the brake drums during heavy braking. The correct answer is B. To supply air to the trailer tanks and control the trailer's emergency brakes. Explanation. The supply line, usually red, fills the trailer's reservoirs and keeps the emergency brakes released. If this line loses pressure, the trailer brakes will automatically apply. Question 32. What occurs when the air pressure in the system falls below approximately 60 psi, 414 kilopascals? A. The engine will automatically shut down. B. The low air pressure warning light and buzzer must activate. C. The transmission will shift into neutral. D. The fuel pump will stop working. The correct answer is B. The low air pressure warning light and buzzer must activate. Explanation. This is a mandatory safety feature designed to give the driver enough time to stop the vehicle safely before the emergency brakes lock up. Question 33. What is the function of the tractor protection valve? A. To prevent the tractor from speeding. B. To protect the tractor's air supply if the trailer breaks away or develops a massive leak. C. To increase the pressure during mountain driving. D. To filter out moisture from the air compressor. The correct answer is B. To protect the tractor's air supply if the trailer breaks away or develops a massive leak. Explanation. If the trailer becomes disconnected or a line ruptures, this valve closes to ensure the tractor retains enough air to operate its own brakes safely. Question 34. What is off-tracking, chas, in a heavy vehicle? A. When the engine loses power on a steep hill. B. When the rear wheels follow a shorter path than the front wheels during a turn. C. When the tires lose pressure during a long trip. D. When the trailer slides sideways on ice. The correct answer is B. When the rear wheels follow a shorter path than the front wheels during a turn. Explanation. Because of the length of the vehicle, the rear wheels do not follow the same arc as the steering wheels. Drivers must account for this by swinging wide to avoid hitting curbs or obstacles. Question 35. When making a sharp right turn, where is the greatest danger of a collision for a heavy vehicle? A. The front left corner of the tractor. B. The rear left corner of the trailer. C. The right side blind spot where the trailer may squeeze a smaller vehicle or hit a curb. D. Directly behind the vehicle. The correct answer is C. The right side blind spot where the trailer may squeeze a smaller vehicle or hit a curb. Explanation. Due to off-tracking, the trailer cuts the corner. Smaller vehicles may try to pass on the right, not realizing the trailer is about to close the gap. Question 36. What is the snubbing technique for braking on long downgrades? A. Holding the brakes continuously with light pressure. B. Pumping the brakes rapidly as fast as possible. C. Applying the brakes hard enough to feel a definite slowdown, then releasing them to allow cooling. D. Only using the trailer brakes to slow down. The correct answer is C. Applying the brakes hard enough to feel a definite slowdown, then releasing them to allow cooling. Explanation. Constant light pressure leads to brake fade, overheating. Snubbing, e.g., braking from 50 km per hour down to 40 km per hour and then releasing, allows the drums to dissipate heat between applications. Question 37. Which gear should you be in before starting a long descent? A. The highest gear possible to save fuel. B. Neutral, to allow the truck to coast. C. A lower gear that allows the engine to provide braking force, engine braking. D. The same gear you would use for highway cruising. Correct answer. C. A lower gear that allows the engine to provide braking force, engine braking. Explanation. Using the engine to help control speed reduces the reliance on the service brakes, preventing them from overheating and failing. Question 38. In a 24-hour period, What is the maximum number of hours a driver is permitted to drive? A. 10 hours. B. 13 hours. C. 14 hours. D. 16 hours. The correct answer is B. 13 hours. Explanation: saaQ regulations state that after 8 consecutive hours of off-duty time, a driver may not drive for more than 13 hours in a single day. Question 39. What is the work shift limit for a commercial driver? A. You cannot drive after 13 hours of being on duty. B. You cannot drive after 14 hours have elapsed since your last 8-hour rest period. C. You can work as long as you want if you take a nap. D. The shift ends exactly at midnight regardless of when you started. The correct answer is B. You cannot drive after 14 hours have elapsed since your last 8-hour rest period. Explanation: even if you haven't driven all 13 hours, you must stop driving once you have been on duty or available for work for 14 hours since your last long rest. Question 40. How many consecutive hours of off-duty time are required to reset a driver's cycle 1, 70 hours and 7 days? A. 24 hours. B. 36 hours. C. 48 hours. D. 72 hours. The correct answer is B. 36 hours. Explanation: taking 36 consecutive hours off resets the cumulative totals for cycle 1, allowing the driver to start fresh with a full 70-hour balance. Question 41. During an inspection, you find a leak in the exhaust system that allows fumes to enter the cab. What is the classification? A. Minor defect. B. Major defect. C. Maintenance item. D. Not a defect if the windows are open. The correct answer is B. Major defect. Explanation: exhaust leaks into the passenger compartment are extremely dangerous as they can lead to carbon monoxide poisoning and driver incapacitation. Question 42. What is the minimum legal tread depth for a heavy vehicle's steering front tires? A. 1.6 millimeters. B. 3.2 millimeters. C. 4.0 millimeters. D. 5.0 millimeters. The correct answer is B. 3.2 millimeters. Explanation: front steering tires require more tread for safe handling and water displacement. Other tires, rear/trailer, generally require 1.6 millimeters. Question 43. If your truck catches fire, what is the first rule regarding the use of a fire extinguisher? A. Always aim at the top of the flames. B. Only attempt to fight the fire if it is safe and you have an escape route. C. Use water instead of a chemical extinguisher if it's an electrical fire. D. Open the hood wide to see the source of the fire. The correct answer is B. Only attempt to fight the fire if it is safe and you have an escape route. Explanation: safety is the priority. If the fire is too large or involves hazardous materials, you should move to a safe distance and call emergency services. Question 44. Where should you place emergency warning triangles if your truck is disabled on a two-lane highway? A. All three right next to the driver's door. B. 130 in front, 130 behind, and 13 behind on the traffic side. C. Only one triangle is needed at the rear. D. On the roof of the cab. The correct answer is B. 130 in front, 130 behind, and 13 behind on the traffic side. Explanation: proper placement gives other drivers enough warning to slow down or move over before reaching your vehicle. Question 45. What should you do if your accelerator pedal sticks while driving? A. Turn off the ignition immediately, locking the steering. B. Shift into neutral and apply the brakes firmly while steering to a safe stop. C. Try to pull the pedal up with your hand while steering. D. Speed up until the engine clears the jam. The correct answer is B. Shift into neutral and apply the brakes firmly while steering to a safe stop. Explanation: shifting to neutral disconnects the engine's power from the wheels, allowing you to stop safely without losing steering control. Question 46. According to North American Cargo Securement Standards, NSC Standard 10, what is the minimum working load limit, WLL, required for a securement system? A. It must equal 25% of the weight of the cargo. B. It must be at least 50% of the weight of the cargo. C. It must equal 100% of the weight of the cargo. D. It must be exactly 1,000 kilograms regardless of the cargo weight. The correct answer is B. It must be at least 50% of the weight of the cargo. Explanation. The aggregate working load limit of all tie-downs and securement devices must be at least half the weight of the article or group of articles being secured. Question 47. For cargo that is not prevented from moving forward by a headerboard or other cargo, how many tie-downs are required for an article that is 3.5 meters long? A. 1 tie-down. B. 2 tie-downs. C. 3 tie-downs. D. For tie-downs. The correct answer is B. 2 tie-downs. Explanation. Generally, articles over 1.52 meters but under 3.04 meters require 2 tie-downs. For articles longer than 3.04 meters, you must use 2 tie-downs for the first 3.04 meters and 1 additional tie-down for every 3.04 meters thereafter. Question 48. What is the required performance standard for a securement system to prevent cargo from moving in the forward direction? A. It must withstand 20% of the cargo weight. B. It must withstand 50% of the cargo weight. C. It must withstand 80% of the cargo weight. D. It must withstand 100% of the cargo weight. The correct answer is C. It must withstand 80% of the cargo weight. Explanation. Securement systems must be strong enough to withstand 0.8 g of deceleration in the forward direction, which equates to 80% of the cargo's weight. Question 49. Under the saaQ regulations, what is the daily off-duty requirement for a driver in a 24-hour period? A. At least 8 consecutive hours. B. At least 10 hours total, including 8 consecutive hours. C. Exactly 12 hours. D. Only 4 hours if driving a team. The correct answer is B. At least 10 hours total, including 8 consecutive hours. Explanation. A driver must have at least 10 hours of off-duty time in a day. At least 8 of those hours must be consecutive, and the remaining 2 hours can be taken in blocks of at least 30 minutes. Question 50. When are you exempt from keeping a daily logbook, in Quebec? A. When driving within a 160 kilometers radius of your home terminal and returning daily. B. When the vehicle weighs less than 10,000 kilograms. C. If you only drive during daylight hours. D. If you are an owner-operator. The correct answer is A. When driving within a 160 kilometers radius of your home terminal and returning daily. Explanation. To qualify for this exemption, you must return to the home terminal to take at least 8 consecutive hours of rest, and the operator must maintain your time records at the terminal.